Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Ahn Shi. So we will begin our Heavenly Parent Holy Community Oceania Hundoke Ahn Shi, and this day is the 1st of March and the 18th day of January in the 9th year of Chongalguk. Let's begin with a bow to our true parents, Chariot, Kyombe, Paro. And we'll cite Family Pledge both in Korean and in English.
가전맨세 2. 천일국주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 준심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 준심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 춘신, 세계에서는 서인, 천주에서는 선자의 가정의 도리를 완수할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Family Pledge number 2. Our family, the owner of Chongalguk, pledges to represent and become central to heaven and earth by attending the Heavenly Parent and True Parents. We pledge to perfect the dutiful family way of filial sons and daughters in our family, patriots in our nation, saints in the world, and divine sons and daughters in heaven and on earth by centering on true love. Thank you. And opening prayer, I'd like to ask Kana Choi in South Australia to offer the prayer. Thank you. Just unmute yourself. Need to unmute. Okay.
Can you listen? Thank you very much. 사랑하는 하늘 부모님, 승리하신 존재인 참 부모님. Today is the first day of March 2021. We have today is Ahn Shi true. We had a very special occasion in the last weekend. Sorry, and yesterday is also we have a very special rally of hope. Thank you for your gratitude, and all. I wish all members and humankind will be healthy, and I wish that Chonilguk will become this world very quickly. I'm sorry. Thank you for your love and grace. さらさらし者のお祈りでございますが、축복의 준심 가정 다카이 가나의 이름으로 보고하여 어렵사옵나이다. 아주.
Aju. Thank you. So, welcome everyone. I will now we have 48 people together with us. So thank you for coming. It's first of all, I'm offering the Ahn Shi, and I apologize already for not presenting as well as Reverend Yutaka. So just, I hope you enjoy. As you can see, the title is Two Great Mothers. And I wanted to just talk about this. So you can see that I've put down there's 3 roles, for women. They have a girl, a woman, and a mother. And I looked up the term father and mother in both of the autobiographies, and as you can see there, in the Peace-Loving Citizen, fathers mentioned 97 times and mothers mentioned 89 times. In Mother of Peace, fathers mentioned 276 times and mother is mentioned 518 times. And it's also to note, mother's book is twice as long as father's book, but it has so many more times reference. So, okay. 2 great mothers. I'm going to talk about father's mother, Kim Kyung-gae, and mother's mother, Hong Sung-ae, and from their words. About true father's mother. These are coming from as a peace-loving global citizen. My mother, whose favourite Christian hymn was Higher Ground, was also quite a strong woman. I take after her not only for her wide forehead and round face, but for her straightforward and high-spirited personality as well. I have a stubborn streak, and there is no doubt I am my mother's child. When my mother would scold me for doing something wrong, I would talk back to her saying, no, absolutely not. All I had to do was admit that I was wrong, but I'd rather have died than let those words out of my mouth. My mother, though, had quite a strong personality as well. She would strike me and say, you think you can get away with not answering your parent? Once she struck me so hard, she knocked me down. Even after I got up, I wouldn't give in to her. She stood in front of me crying loudly. Even then, I wouldn't admit that I was wrong. So we can see that they were both pushing each other, but both very stubborn. And we can see that she's a strong lady. I mean, to hit someone so hard that he fell down, had to get up, but still very stubborn. I don't know if you've had children that are like that, who are very stubborn, even though they know they're wrong, they still won't admit it. Maybe we have, or maybe we've been that type. But this, to me, just shows how father and mother are just a regular family. Even though they have received special grace and preparation from our Heavenly Parent, they still interact as stubborn son and mother. Okay. Each generation in our family has had many children. I had 1 older brother, 3 older sisters, and 3 younger sisters. I actually had 4 other younger siblings who were born after Hyoson. Mother gave birth to 13 children, but 5 did not survive. Her heart must have been deeply tormented. Mother suffered a great deal to raise so many children in circumstances that were by no means plentiful. Each time a child would marry, cotton cloth as soft and beautiful as processed satin would be created through mother's coarse hands. Her hands were incredibly quick. Others might weave 3 or 4 pieces of tugayeni fabric in a day, but mother would weave as many as 20. When she was in a hurry to complete the marriage preparations for one of my older sisters, she could weave an entire roll of fabric in a day. Mother had an impatient personality. Whenever she would set her mind to doing something, she would work quickly to get it done. I take after her in that way. So he's just showing how she really focuses and her whole heart into creating and weaving cloth. I mean, this is quite a task. I don't know if you ever seen the creating of cloth on a loom, but to do it by hand and it's quite an effort. When I think about her desire and love for all her children, not only loving a troublesome child as father was to her, but she also had to suffer with losing 5 of her children, and because they're in a country that's been oppressed, and they really really desire to ensure that all her children are protected and cared for. So it's really important for her that she doesn't have a feeling of joy. She wants them to feel joy and not the sadness that she's experienced. I'm sure as she was making preparations for the sister's wedding to make that cloth, she's thinking of all the children and all of them to ensure that they are safe and well. And so this is something she would never give up. She would never stop until it's finished, and she would just push herself more quickly to get it done. And so Father takes after her in that way. So Father comes with as we know, as the Messiah, with certain traits and characteristics, but those traits and characteristics are inherited through the lineage. So his parents and grandparents have these same traits, and most of all it's their love for each other as a family, and their love towards our heavenly parents. So when my mother heard the news that the ship her son was scheduled to board had been sunk, she immediately ran out of the house without even thinking to put on her shoes. She ran barefoot 5 miles to the train station and went directly to Busan. When she arrived at the Maritime Police Station in Busan, she discovered my name was not on the passenger manifest. The boarding house in Tokyo, however, told her that I had packed my bags and left. This put her in a total confusion and agony. She just kept calling my name, not even realizing that she had large splinters in her bare feet. I can easily imagine how she must have been beside herself with worry that something might have happened to her son. I can understand my mother's heart, but from the day I chose to follow God's path, I became a terrible son to her. I couldn't afford to let myself be tied down by personal emotions, so I had not sent word that I had not boarded the ship that had been sunk, even though I knew she would be deeply concerned for my safety. So this really shows, her heart of love and how really so desperate, she wants to embrace all her children. I'm sure as she, not knowing that he wasn't on the boat, she just got up and she immediately ran out of the house without thinking to put on her shoes. She just ran barefoot for 5 miles. Her heart must have been thinking, or she'd lost 5 children. I mean, that doesn't leave anybody. I mean, that heart of love for her children, that sorrow must have been so enormous. Her heart would have been crying the entire way. And this reflects our Heavenly Parent. Our Heavenly Parent is both a father and a mother, and to see his children die because of the fall, our Heavenly Parent's heart would have been the same sort of agony, because investing everything for us, and the same with True Father's mother investing everything for her children. She would rather die than to see her own children die. And she kept calling my name, not even realizing that she had large splinters in her bare feet. I mean, she traveled for 5 miles, then caught a train and went to Busan, and Busan's the south of Korea. It's so all that time in desperation, all that time never giving up her love for her child, never relenting, never even thinking about herself, just totally thinking about her children, her son. And this really reflects our Heavenly Parent's pain and agony. And we know that the spiritual dimension is without time or space, and so that means for God the fall is now, because there's no time or space, every moment is at the same time, because there's no time. So it's for God, it's now that his children are suffering. It's now that his heart is still fresh with the agony and grief. There is no time to pass to heal the wounds. It's now. The intensity of the agony is now for our true parents, for our Heavenly Parents. And in the case of Father's mother at that moment, because she was beside herself with worry. Once you get that sort of agony of heart, time doesn't matter anyway. You just want to embrace your child. But from the day I chose to follow God's path, I became a terrible son to her. I couldn't afford to let myself be tied down by personal emotions. So I had not sent word that I had not boarded the ship that had been sunk, even though I knew she would be deeply concerned for my safety. So that burden of Father, I mean, Father loves his mother, but he loves God more, because God is his eternal parent, as God is our eternal parent. Finally, tiring of torturing me, the Japanese police sent for my mother. When she arrived, my legs were so swollen that I couldn't stand on my own. 2 policemen had to put my arms over their shoulders and help me walk to the visiting room. My mother had tears in her eyes even before she set eyes on me. Endure just a little longer, she said. Mother will somehow get you a lawyer. Please endure and don't die before then. My mother saw how my face was covered with blood, and she pleaded with me, "It doesn't matter how much good you are trying to do," she said. "It's more important that you keep yourself alive. No matter what happens, don't die." I felt sorry for her. I would have liked to call out, "Mother," embrace her and cry out loud with her. I couldn't do that, though, because I knew perfectly well why the Japanese police had brought her there. My mother kept pleading with me not to die, but all I could do in return was blink my badly swollen and bloodied eyes. So, they brought her to see him as a mechanism or as a way to break his heart, so that he would, resist, the insistent, request by the Japanese police to say that he is not connected to, or he is connected to other people. He went there and he just refused to follow anything the Japanese said, and he was beaten. And so they brought his mother as a way to get father to submit, but he didn't. He didn't say anything. He just blinked, and through his badly swollen and bloodied eyes. And this can show, his mother doesn't give up. He doesn't give up, and our heavenly parents don't give up. But he was determined to fulfill his responsibility. So my mother visited me many times while I was in prison. My mother handed me a pair of silk trousers that I had worn on my wedding day. However, instead of wearing the silk trousers, I gave them to another prisoner. As for the ni sutkaru that she had gone into debt to prepare, I gave it all right away there as she watched. My mother had invested her full heart and dedication into preparing clothing and food for her son, and she was heartbroken to see me giving away these things without keeping anything for myself. "Mother," I said to her, "I am not just the son of some man named Moon. Before I am a son of the Moon clan, I am a son of the Republic of Korea. And even before that, I am a son of the world and a son of heaven and earth. I think it is right for me to love those things first, and only after that follow your words and love you. I am not the son of some small-minded person. Please conduct yourself in a manner befitting your son." My words were as cold as ice to her, and it hurt her so much to watch her weep that I felt as though my heart would be torn apart. So he just could not relieve her. He had a responsibility to the heavenly parents, and nothing would interfere. And this can be likened to Jesus calling his own mother woman, as he was being called by her. He refused. God is first, and she has to recognize that. Please conduct yourself in a manner befitting your son. So these are really cold, harsh words, and words filled with emotion on both sides. And so now I've got a similar set of slides for about True Mother's mother, and I want to go through this and also want to leave some time so people can say something. So I'll go a bit faster. Around the time of my birth, my mother ate some soup and then fell asleep. At that time, Satan, completely in black, appeared and said, Through the birth of this child, I will come to ruin. That is why I'm trying to get rid of this child. At that time, Daimonim fought strongly and won. When she woke up, her whole body was covered in sweat and her clothes were soaked. My grandmother Jo said, "You must be going through so much suffering to give birth to this child." That's how seriously Daimonim fought with Satan. Why do I tell you this? God's providence is profound and mysterious. During the final stages of the Second World War, Japan confiscated all the iron they could find in Korea and even took the brassware that is used for ancestral rites to make military weapons. However, those things would cross back again and accumulate in the yard of the house where I was born. What does this mean? It shows how urgent and desperate God's providence was. How desperate must God have been that such things would happen for the sake of a newborn baby. It's just showing, again, mother's mother, desperate to protect her child, right from birth, even within the womb. She fought with Satan and would not relent, would not give in. I wanted to send the Son of Heaven to your family. However, because you used those 3 coins for yourself, I will send you the Princess of Heaven instead. He woke up from that dream and found that a stone statue of the Maitreya Buddha had suddenly appeared near the Dali River. This statue was a miracle, and all those who passed in front of it got off their horses to offer a bow before going along the way. However, Mr. Joe's daughters ran into problems. They were single, but their hips were thick and their bellies got big, just like the stone Maitreya's belly. People mistakenly thought they were pregnant and they had difficulty finding husbands. Therefore, Mr. Joe's family came together to discuss the matter. It is because of that Maitreya statue that our daughters have been having a hard time finding husbands. So let us cut off some of the Maitreya's belly off. And they did just that. When they did, it is said that the stone bled. So they repented and remade the belly just as if it had been before. However, due to the passing of time and weathering, a hole appeared and bees came in and out of it. Father said that he went to play at the Maitreya statue during his childhood. This is not a legend, but a true story. I've heard that this Maitreya statue is still there. So this is, also talking about the Dali River that we heard yesterday, but explaining that, still many miracles were happening around that time. Even the women were affected, by the statue. So it just shows how, as Mother said, how amazing God is and how mysterious, the way that God works, in preparing, for the lineage of heaven to come to earth. So I tell you this story to show you that if you offer sincere devotion and loyalty for the sake of heaven, it will all be accepted by heaven. My maternal grandmother, Jo Wan Mo, my mother, Hong Sun-e, Daimonim, and I are the only daughters of 3 generations. Father once said that for a woman to become the mother of the universe, she had to come from a family that had only 1 daughter for 3 successive generations. This shows us heaven prepared the environment for this one time. Heaven created all things before he created Adam and Eve. He first created an environment for them. This also applies to the providence. I'm saying that heaven's work is remarkable. In other words, the mother of the universe did not suddenly appear after the returning Messiah came. This result comes from establishing indemnity conditions that freed her from Satan's conditions over a long providential course. And so this is showing that both sides are making conditions. Heaven is making conditions to bring our true Father, bring our true Mother, and Satan is making conditions to stop it all, to maintain his grip on selfishness, to maintain his grip on humanity. So conditions are being made. That's why it's even more so important that people who know the truth should make conditions, because Satan doesn't relent. We have to get the voluntary surrender. So Adamedes fulfilled a central role in a religious group that offered immense devotion in order to prepare for the returning Lord. She protected and educated well the only begotten daughter and offered devotion for mother to take part in the marriage supper of the Lamb. To establish the true parents, she also led an exemplary life in serving true parents in front of blessed members and other church members. Even after she went to the spirit world, she was able to carry out the role in lieu of true parents. So she was named Adamedes, Great Mother. She is an indispensable person to all fallen people. From that viewpoint, all of you are fortunate. In Jesus's time, 2,000 years ago, no such environment existed, and there were no protective fence for Jesus. However, if you look at the history of today, Adamedes displayed absolute faith, love, and obedience in the position of being one heart, one body, one mindset, and one harmony with true parents. Though she was in the spirit world, she prepared for true Father's ascension in the real world, which nobody had ever imagined or thought of doing. This was not something that could have been done by just anybody. So Adamedes was thinking about Father's ascension when we were in shock that it was going to happen. And it's true, we were not prepared. And yet, Adamedes was prepared. Adamedes is a person who spent her whole life seeking and attending the returning Lord. She opened up the environment through which you could be resurrected. She was the historic person who protected the family of God's only begotten daughter and gave birth to the only begotten daughter. Not just anyone could conduct Adamedes' works. She is a person who made substantial preparations for the returning Lord. That is why there is no one comparable to Adamedes. It is not an easy thing for the spirit person to work on earth. This required effort that you cannot even imagine. What is the difference between one's nanny and one's actual mother? Anybody can say that the lineage and the heart are different, but I would like to explain it like this. A nanny is a public figure. She cannot have personal emotions in the task entrusted to her. When Adamedes gave birth to me, heaven told her, you are her nanny. Adamedes is a person who showed absolute faith. Adamedes is a person who, throughout her entire life, never thought of herself. She is the one who knew the most about providential history, about the returning Lord, and about the status and position of true parents. So we can learn from these great mothers their love for their children and the acknowledgement that their children are sent by heaven. And this is the last slide I have, and sorry that it's long, and this is about mother's words, sort of helping us to understand about mother. Also, that mother is the true mother. You are going too far, sir, I was told. This is father talking. If you married her, you should live with her. What are you doing, making it difficult for her even to see your face? The people who had been criticizing my wife one by one began to take her side instead. In spite of her young age, it was necessary that my wife receive harsh training. During the time we lived together, her environment was relentless. She never had even a single free moment for herself. She constantly was on edge, as if she were walking on a thin layer of ice, wondering, will today be peaceful? Will tomorrow be peaceful? Because she had to attain God's standard of motherly love. I corrected her for even a single wrong word. Sometimes even after affection for me, sometimes even her affection for me had to be curtailed for the sake of her eternal mission. It was all necessary for her to become true mother, but I am sure it caused much grief in her heart. I might say a word in passing and not think much of it. She, however, had to harmonize herself with my every word, so I am sure her suffering was great. It took us 7 years to conform ourselves to each other. I relate these things because the most important thing in a marriage relationship is trust. It is what makes it possible for two people to become one trust. It is what makes it possible for two people to become as one. And so this is true for all of us. You know, trust is what we have to learn to become trustworthy so God can trust us and we can become one with God. So when we think about our responsibility, we have to make conditions, we have to experience the heart, but we also have to become trustworthy to our partner and trustworthy to each other and to God. And so our true parents suffered, father in prison and beaten, mother through a course of being ignored and ridiculed and having 4 children die. So we really, need to appreciate how beautiful they are. So I'd like to just stop sharing just there and open it up, to others for any comments or reflections. So who'd like to offer and share? Wow. Yes, Isla, go ahead.
Good morning, and thank you, John. That was amazing. Just I wanted to say that to make cloth, my mother had you call it loom?
Yeah.
Upstairs in the house, and you could see hear the banging, but every day when she was doing cloth or carpets or something. But this true father's mother was extremely strong, because you have to also use your legs to the action. So she was incredibly strong woman, also physically. That's what I want to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Someone else like to share? Yes, Mr. Arai, go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, everyone, and thank you today, John, and incredible preparation for this Fundok. And so today, in a short time, presented to read about the life of true father's mother, and also true mother's mother, and also just explain a bit true mother's 7-year course. But actually, true father's mother's course is incredible, and I think so much suffering, and I think everyone maybe remember our own course, but incredible more than that. But also, true mother's demonim life is incredible. Entire her life, she could not think her life, and I was thinking yesterday, I was thinking all the time myself, and not easy to attend artistically, very piety to mother, to parents, and of heavenly parents. That is one of how I can truly artistic attend. This is the most important point, but not easy. But anyway, in a short time, to understand or to digest true father's mother's situation, heart, and also true mother's life, on earth and on spiritual world, but including also True Mother's seminar course. It is maybe it's I must be humble. I must take a prayer. I must open heart. I must. It is need 100 times. It's really challenge, and sometimes we say I can understand, but it is a incorrigible job. I think I have to change a lot, cry a lot, and to digest it is maybe I think quite many, everyone had a it is big task to digest, but anyway, thank you for your encouragement, your heart to prepare for this. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Who else would like to share?
I don't know.
Yep, Tsuneko, go ahead.
I think this sacrifices, mother's sacrifice, that's especially public figure, mother's position is incredible sacrifice. Because I think always through demonym can go easily to see True Mother when she thought True Mother was lonely and difficult position, early age of True Mother's situation. But demonym can go easily to comfort own daughter. That is public figure. True Mother is very, very public figure. Therefore, she can see own mother whenever she wants. That is, she has to face own difficulty to connect with Heavenly Parent. That's also 7 years. True Father says 7 years. It took 7 years to mother to connect with directly with Heavenly Parent. During the time, trust her, right? True Father is trust to the mother so much to grow to own faith, to connect with strong faith. That is always challenge time of mother's figure, is especially public position. It's always, that's I always thought it needs strong faith to, in order to embrace all men and all, public figure of even husband or any, that's mother's figure is so much big, huge challenge. But if overcome it, it's quite strong faith and all loving mother's figure is successful. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Someone else would like to share? Yep, Greg Hansen, go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, thank you very much, John, for your presentation today. Yeah, I just wanted to share a little bit of my experience. Like Jeffrey was saying yesterday, like all of us have been prepared in a very special way, and I didn't realize like my mother was quite spiritual person. So when I was in Cheongpyeong in 2016, I actually saw some angels in the room. I changed rooms where I was sleeping because it was very noisy. Went to a second room where there were some Korean and elder Japanese people sleeping. And then I woke up in the nighttime and I saw these very large figures in the back of the room, which I think were angels. And that I understood late, you know, that I also inherited a little bit from my mother, like she was quite spiritual. And I joined in 1974 in north of England, in Newcastle. And I went to the center for a couple of weeks, and I didn't fit in very well. So I actually left the center, and I went to stay with some Franciscan brothers on the coast. And it was there I met Brother Matthew, and I taught him a little bit about the principle, about the fall, and we went for walks along the beach, etc. And about 20 years later, he sent me a letter. He was sick and he was going to die, but he remembered me for those 20 years after. But anyway, whilst I was in this kind of friary or monastery, it was during Lent time, so we weren't eating very much food. So I went to my cell, the top of the building, and I was sleeping. I had a dream, sudden dream, and it was a dream about True Mother. And it was from a photograph where Father is standing a little bit behind True Mother, and True Mother has this Honbok dress on with big sleeves, and she's like that in front with her hair tied back. It was around their blessing time, the true parents. And in this dream, I was showing True Mother 2 pens with lambs in, and one of the lambs I felt represented me and my blessing, and the other lamb was Jesus. And as I was showing True Mother these 2 pens with lambs in, then animals came and attacked. So in order to stop the rats attacking, I put my gum boots, my Wellington boots, on the wire to stop them climbing in. But then they turned on me. And then I suddenly woke up and I was completely drenched, wet, and like felt vomiting and like sick. And I thought, well, this isn't just because I've been fasting like with the Lent food. This is incredible sort of revelation, this kind of experience I had. And so that experience led me to understand that I have to be really careful. I have to really study principles. So people think, oh, Greg Hansen, like he studies principles so much and he does it. It's because I feel I have to really protect myself because of this kind of experience. And we've all been prepared in special ways. And I believe that, you know, I have a special course to run, and that even before I'd actually joined completely, I had this kind of amazing revelation. So I just wanted to share that experience of how the spirit world kind of prepared me, and a little bit about my mother's and my inheritance from her. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Greg. I saw also Daniela wanted to talk. Yep.
Yeah, thank you very much, John. That was, it was quite full on. It was very, very intense. It's not very easy to really, you know, try to put your heart into what they went through. It's quite challenging. And I feel like this was a time when it's so, like, it was so challenging and so much had to be done. So I had this experience when I was participating in a 40-day DP they did with the brothers and sisters in America last year sometime. Before they did the Chosen, they did the 40-day study DP. The Reverend Cotton was teaching every day. And they were going through the course with all the ministers in America. And in some of those lectures, one day, they were sharing testimonies. So the Christian ministers were sharing testimonies. And particularly, they were talking about True Father. And it was such an amazing love. Some of them expressed this incredible love for True Father. So then I was sharing in the morning, I was sharing with Miti about that. We're sharing about that lecture and what had happened. And as I was saying to her, I was talking to her saying, wow, True Father must have felt so much love, like the way they expressed their heart for him. And as I was saying that, I felt True Father True Father very, very clearly, True Father's heart, True Father's spirit. And he was saying, I could not really allow myself to feel that. I could not allow myself to feel that. And I was just burst out in tears, you know, I just started crying, feeling like he's, he couldn't allow himself to even to feel the love that they were giving him, because he was so focused on his mission. So there was, it was quite amazing to feel that and to experience his heart like that. So it's really like such a time where, you know, everything was so, like Reverend Hansen was saying, everything is so, you have to be so rigid, and everything has to be done so properly, you know, and you can't allow, so it's more like making the conditions and doing everything that was asked of them to restore the past, you know, to restore the first Israel, the second Israel. And then for the era now that's coming, where the era of the settlement or the Chongyuguk, which is all these conditions, and now we can balance that with the heart, with the love. So they both have to amalgamate and create really the, you know, the life from the heart. The love is how we have to live from the heart, and we have to really, really feel ourselves the gratitude and the love that all our ancestors, True Father and now True Mother also is doing that. With all her strength, she's actually caring still. And she keeps saying, let's complete the restoration, you know, let's complete the providence. And so I feel love and gratitude, and really truly connecting heart, like Mr. Rai was saying, also like truly embrace and connect artistically to all the sacrifice that they have made, and that they had to truly, you know, not even, embrace their parents. So True Mother embrace, you know, her mother, and have that kind of support. So how much they sacrificed for this foundation to be made.
Thank you. Okay. We have time for one more. One more person wants to share. Suntek? Yes, go ahead, Suntek.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning, brothers and sisters. Thank you for sharing. I just want, can I share 2 points? One is I couldn't join every day because morning is quite busy, prepared to work and children, just sending people here and there. But I want to share, like, so far, Reverend Yutaka's appreciate share about Mother's book about Korea. I have like a very interest in Korea as a nation. First of all, I'm amazed that God prepared actually in the region of North Korea to send the only begotten son and only begotten daughter. But at the moment, as we know, North Korea is a communist nation. And because of that, from people's eyes, secular eyes, people really dislike North Korea actually. But from our viewpoint, actually, North Korea is actually the very holy place and a birthplace of our true parents. So I just feel that sometimes we become like outside, like a media, all that really criticize North Korea, especially the government, but actually how we need to love, just like Father, think about how to support North Korea despite the whole world, trying to put a sanction, all that, but Father really invest to send rice and rice powder to North Korea. Even though we are far in Australia, but I really feel how we can unite with Mother in terms of preparing the environment to support unified Korea by loving North Korea. So yeah, that's the first one. Second one is related to John, your sharing about Mother. And I really feel I resonate with your sharing about True Mother and also Taebonim and the role of Mother. Because I myself, I really grateful to my own mother, grandmother, but my mother really played a big part of my life and also my life of faith. It's because of my mother that today I could we could do the blessing in my hometown. Yesterday I have a Zoom meeting with about 10 families, and they are families who are still doing Hundoke of our father's autobiography. We give our father's autobiography, and yesterday was a 5th Rally of Hope, and 55 those families who received the blessing actually attended the 5th Rally of Hope. When I look back, it's a lot of mothers actually involved. My mother, also my spiritual son's wife, and also spiritual son's mother also really involved in that. My own wife, my wife actually also really invests in my hometown and make a lot of sacrifice herself, because when I was frontline, she was there by herself with children, and went through many difficulties. And then also there were two mothers, but they help in my hometown. They were church leaders, mother, but they passed away. Reverend Yutaka actually knew them, and one of them, Reverend Yutaka, conducted the Songhua, and they both passed away recently, in the last few years. But the incredible investment in that. And then currently, spiritual son's wife and the other two wives, they are playing a very important in that. So just make a long story short, I really feel the important role of women and mother in God's providence. And True Mother continue to encourage us and really express her love. Yesterday again, she expressed her love. She want us to let people know about true parents before they pass into the spirit world, and that heart really resonate. And yeah, we want to we recognize mother, and here also many mothers here and wives. So we really appreciate our sister mother, mothers of love and investment for own children, but also our community and this nation of Australia. So really appreciate her mother's heart. Thank you for your sharing, Reverend John.
Thank you, Quintet. Thank you. And so now we will offer our 7-minute unison prayer, and this is a good opportunity to pray for our great mothers. We all have mothers, our true parents' mothers, and our true mother. So let's pray together in unison. I'll just share the screen. Arju. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming, and have a great day, and see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye, Mitzi.
Bye.
Bye, Danielle.
There are many.
Bye,
No.
Hey, hey.
Hello, Arnold.
Arnold. Kathy.
Daniel. Bye, Daniel.
Janine.